Prinsessa Tova.
I actually Googled it, and this song is written for a little piece called Tove, and that's about a girl, something I don't actually know.
So does it come from a play or an opera? Or
It's from a play from 1929.
All right.
Here in Denmark. And Lene told me that actually there is a queen or a princess here in Denmark that once was called Princess Tove.
Right. So you're going to sing it to her?
Yeah.
Before you marry her?
I was also thinking I could also sing it for my parents, like to describe her for me.
The danger with this song probably is that it sounds like it's in 3 beats in a bar.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not, it's in 6. So could you just make fewer beats?
Yeah.
Try the first verse like that. And the speed of that last 2 bars, should that be free? Da 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 dee 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 dee, or dee 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 dee.
I think it would be free.
A freer time. Dee 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 dee. It could be free but slow. It's important to know whether you're stressing a noun or a verb or an adjective or an adverb. In other words, whether they're words of statement or words of description. So if I say, my girlfriend's got green eyes. I don't say, my girlfriend's got green eyes. I say, my girlfriend's got green eyes. And so the word, the way that you stress the word green has affection in it.
Yeah.
And that's what you're trying to say. You're trying to express that by the way you say that. So in Danish, we need to have those. To get those, we need to know whether the word that, even me who don't speak any Danish at all, I need to have the feeling of which words are statements and which words are expressions.
Okay.
And that will draw me into the poem in a way that if you just give me dum da dum da dum da dum da dum da dum da dum, doesn't draw me into anything. I get bored very quickly. Okay, so make me interested by drawing attention to the words that describe things. I'm not mentioning that. There's a different way of saying those words than the nouns. Okay? You're proud of Denmark, but you're even more prouder of the golden wheat fields of Denmark. Okay? Draw me into those. Min piger. Good. So this the Blicket. That's like words in German as well, isn't it? That's the look in her eyes, and we have this lovely picture of the heavens reflected in the sea, and so Himmel that's heaven, is it?
Yeah, heaven.
Heaven. So that's an important word. You can colour that. And And now you tell us something, the next verse, you tell us something about her which is not so nice.
No.
Or at least it's intriguing.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
It's interesting about her. Carry on. We're always more interested in somebody who is not always nice, aren't we? We're always interested in somebody. It's more intriguing.
Yeah.
So, you described her as bitchy. Is she bitchy? It's a bit of a hard word.
Bitchy is a hard word, but I don't know how to explain it otherwise. She can be mean.
She can be mean.
Yeah.
To you?
Yeah, and also to other guys or other persons.
Those she does not like.
Yeah, to those she does not like.
Right.
To you,
Maybe.
maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
Choosy.
Wicked.
Wicked. That's a good word, isn't it? I don't know whether wicked is good these days or bad. It's wicked. Yeah. It's good. So you now need to intrigue us about this girl.
Yeah.
Okay. How are you going to do that?
I don't know.
How do you use words? Oh, we talked about using nouns and adjectives and adverbs. How do you pronounce the words when you sing the pronunciations to make us interested in certain words?
And make it clearly, so she's like giving me the intention of me telling her something.
Well, if I said she had brown hair and blue eyes, that would be one thing. But if I said she had brown hair and blue eyes, that's more interesting.
Yeah.
So what am I doing?
You're making the vowels a bit longer, and also you're making the word a little longer. The describing word, the adjective.
The vowels carry the emotion often, but also the consonants, the speed of the consonants, can deliver a picture as well.
Yeah.
So there are lots of things you can play with. It's not just clarity. Just saying things incredibly clearly, because sometimes that's rather unemotional, isn't it?
Sometimes.
Yeah, and there are times when you want to be like that, but clinical like that. But there are try to make me understand. Okay, I'm still not getting it. So how can you try harder? What word should I be listening for?
Hard.
What's it mean?
Yeah, hard.
Hard.
Yeah.
Okay.
And leader.
Right.
The person she doesn't like.
Yes.
Yeah. And he sits slow.
My girl can sometimes be so bad, should anyone, for then she hurts us worse than sin, and bite my fairly temper. She is a princess of Denmark.
Right. That's very good. I'm impressed. A fiery temper. Is that fiery? Fiery temper. Say it.
Fiery temper.
Now sing it in Danish.
Hissigt bider.
Yeah, say it again.
Hissigt bider.
Nastia.
Hissigt bider.
Sing it.
Can we take from the second part down? Yeah.
I got it that time. Well done. It's brilliant. Yeah, that's good. But you have to exaggerate things a lot You're such a nice chap. You're sort of oh, really nice fellow. So if you're going to tell us something that we're going to care about, you have to lay yourself on the line a bit more. Have to be a bit more definite.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it just seems rather too sweet and nice. To really goad us, persuade us into believing. It's not enough just to say the right word at the right time. That's the thing I'm trying to say. You need to find within the language. That's very much more tender, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you're saying that when you look into her eyes, you could forgive her anything, no matter how nasty she is to you. That's good. That's very nice. Yes, I remember your voice from before, and the nice thing is that it's become much more mellow, less very sort of edgy, and it's now become much more. We're getting much more colour into it. And it's less as if it's about to stop all the time. So there's much more colour and continuity about it. Could you just try for me? And see whether there's any vibrato in the sound. Don't try and put it in. Just let it in if it wants to come. Relax it. Almost. Allow the air to flow through the sound a little bit. If you were a violinist, you would start the sound and then you introduce it into the sound. It would naturally do that. And when a violinist is trying to imitate a singer, so the violinist is having to do it with the left hand in order to produce the sound, but they're imitating what a singing voice does. So it's a natural, tender thing to do, particularly when you're singing a warm thing. Just try it again. Good, yeah, there was a bit there. Good, open your arms. Be proud of it. Good. Exciting. And you're playing it on a big viola, I was like. Good. Go ahead, try it in upper semitone in F minor. Stroke the sound like that. Sing and stroke. That's no. I like that. It's good, yeah. That's a different sort of sound. Rather than wave a bit. And again. Can you tell me what when you feel about that sound? It's quite different, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. It's more comfortable. Yeah.
Do you like it?
Yeah, sort of.
Does it use less breath or more breath?
Less breath, but I'm more in contact with my body.
Exactly. Exactly. Yes, it uses less breath. That's the great thing about it. The dry sound, it's using a lot of breath. But it's more in contact with your body. And so we're getting a more contained sound, which is very much more expressive. Okay, put down into E minor again, the proper key. E major again. E. Good. Now sing me the last verse. I didn't tell him to do anything technically, did I? I didn't say, use your intercostal muscles or your. So what was making the difference for him? Perhaps you should ask him. I don't know, but from a singing teacher's point of view and from a choral conductor's point of view, now the breath knows what to do. It knows the way in and knows the way out, and it knows how to express. So you can make a physical distraction, but you can also make a distraction in your emotion. You think of the emotion, and that will make your voice react. Now it does that all the time when you talk. When you're worried about saying something correctly, your voice dries up. When you talk about things passionately, it wakes up. It makes it interesting, and it does a lot of the technical things that we tried to get right. It does them right. And what you were doing then was that was a physical distraction. The thing I was trying to before was really an emotional distraction, so that you get into the words and into the texts, and therefore liberate your voice. But it doesn't really matter which way round you go. Different things work at different times. But I think you have to find ways to distract we're all educated to want to do something up here, and we're not educated to do it down here. And we have to find a way of not letting that interfere with that, but letting that unlock that. And that's when you hear a great singer, that's what you hear is his heart, not his brain. It's really hard. If you've been brought up to be a really good choir boy, it is very hard to go, it is really hard to do that. But you're beginning to do it, and it's great to hear that. It makes a big difference. Thank you.